seem hungry for gray skies. That sickly sweet autumn air, lazily lapping at my neck tenderly and occasionally greedily, filling my lungs through my nose with a sweet decay that I can only pathetically bat at before quickly relinquishing myself to the sense of presence. I am pulled under cloud 9 with a reactive smile you'd have to squint to see. Trust. There is no island isolated enough you could throw me on to pierce the intimacy of the moment. It's not warm enough to heal or cold enough to refresh, but I am possessed regardless. My faith in words has been greatly diminished. With that, I have found no time to grieve a lost love of them. I want to maintain the momentum outrage gives. I worry an important part of me is turning orange-brown. To survive, are there beliefs I need to throw away? I'm so tired of words. Every word is so fragile and quickly betrayed. So I sit and I watch. Waiting doesn't take that long. Every good intention, every world-saving philosophy evaporates off lips. So I get bitter. I'd like to believe, though. It's very challenging to know that there are some things that you have to believe. Saying it is an admission of a degree of non-belief. But why do I know this to be true? Why can we do that? Believe things to survive knowing you have to, while implicitly not. Believing because you have to. I'd like not to be exhausted with words. I want to dismiss everything with the hand-flapping, talking gesture. I want to see what is done. But I can't help but feel that I'm losing an important part of myself. There's been tough lessons recently. Responsibility is at fault. Tomorrow is never coming. This, you can't believe what people say. Action, not words, feels right, but never feels safe, but unsustainable. Do I carry this bitterness with me forever? Smile when I need to, and believe? What kind of fucking life is that? I think I need to see some mountains when I next get a chance. No finance worries, no ruminations for a next goal, just go and walk. No being anyone, no trying anything, just being. No meditations, no advice, no reactions, no responses, no biting. Just blue. I think blue is important too. I think blue is about as real as consciousness. It's probably not an inherent quality, but something more emergent, a result of much more complicated stuff working together to make something we can mostly agree on. It might be different for every single one of us, but generally speaking, for the less pedantic of us, or those who really don't need to know or have the ability, we can all point at blue and say, yeah, that's blue. A type of real. It's not a kind of real like the sun, or rough skin, or ants on a windowsill, but a type of real that would be absurd and obnoxious to deny to the existence of technical explanations. where denying its existence doesn't exactly ripple world-changing effects, it's not impossible, but for most of us, blue is still blue, even without the words. The consequence of blue is still the same. Blue carries the information that we can share in descriptors. Is that my blue pencil? Follow that blue car. I wanted the blue thingy. The phenomenon of blue seems a little bigger than that. It's trivial, but I can't shake that I feel like it's important. Why? Why would blue be important? I was messing around with my DSLR today, trying to snap photos of a pair of strays I call the twins, and occasionally the lesbians, two very nice black cats. You can't quite call them black. When the sun hits them, you can see all the brown streaks and grays and whites. Still, I use them to sort of reteach myself about white balancing. Sometimes in lighting conditioning, the light diffuses into an orangish color, but your brain doesn't quite register it. A white piece of paper will still look white to your brain because it adapts to the context of the environment you're in. But once you take a photo without accounting for this, you'll notice the color looking off. If you're indoors and using man-made lights, the lights are usually a bit tungsten, so you'll end up with a very warm-looking orange image. If you select the white balance mode to tungsten in this environment, it'll compensate for the orange by adding blue. I don't know how the camera adds blue, but it does. If you're shooting pictures in daylight, rather unsurprisingly, your photos can turn out looking a bit more blue. To balance it, you select daylight or shade, and it balances out by adding orange. Sometimes, though, you might not want it to be balanced. Sometimes the color temperature sets a mood. Sometimes a warm color can set a feeling of warmth, if you can believe it. It can sell a hot day, or a pleasant feeling of companionship, or tension, or comfort, or an enveloping feeling of intimacy and the knowledge of our own smallness. A cool color can invoke a feeling of tranquility, a temperate to downright freezing day after tomorrow, or artificiality, distance, or isolation that you can only get from a larger picture, like a soothing, if not slightly discomforting set of cold hands on your soul. That distance a cool colored picture can have, and I don't just mean big stuff in the distance, but an emotional distance. Have you ever had a moment or a nightmare where you got so scared everything felt otherworldly? Like you were just born and everything is new. It's like you're out of your body, and I swear, stuff looks almost blue. I think a cool photo or filter can capture that feeling. That surreal feeling can also be used to heighten action as well, but that's a little boring to me personally at the moment. Is that what I want? More than perspective, I want a reset, to kind of be born anew. Like a controlled shock to the system with a novelty I haven't done in a while. Isolation. To participate in a refreshingly cold way, without being hurt. Not as a solution, just blue. I've always been compulsively pedantic. It gets me in so much trouble, and out of a little, sometimes. Reality is probably something a little more emergent. A lot of complicated little things working together to make something we can all mostly agree on. Lots of little realities with varying degrees of hardness, adding up to something we can try to describe. Beliefs are inevitable. Reality will never be a baseline I can truly touch. Estimates, measurements, and cooperation will have me approaching zero, but I'll never quite be there. There will always be room for a belief or two. It's a type of real. That's why we can doubt it, but have to know it's true. I'm not quite ready to commit myself to anything specific. That being said, I think I'm a little more comfortable with the idea of mandatory belief. So, when winter comes and all the leaves betray me in their final grand fight, I have to believe that I'll see new ones take their place.